Hey guys, how's it going? It's Eric here, and I wanted to bring an update for my Monarch deck profile, which I believe was the first video on my channel. Well, seeing as we're in spiral format now, I don't think this deck can compete. It has no chance of competing. It's way too slow. It can't really play through any of the boards spirals can put out. I think your saving grace if you're playing against this is you open up Great and you open up Domain, get your Domain lock, and hoping they didn't open a Super Agent or some way to pop, which they most certainly will. But anyways, yeah, I think maybe if you want to take this to like a locals, nobody's expecting it, maybe you could pull off a few wins, but I don't think this deck's fast enough to compete in the new format. Well, anyways, let's get straight into it. For the fodder, I'm playing 3 Gofu. Yeah, you don't play any links because you don't play an extra deck for this. So you'd think, hey, you can't tribute the tokens, what's up with that? Well, at the very least, if you open this, it's at least 1 tribute because you could tribute the actual Gofu itself. But because I play Karaz in here, opening this and the Karaz is like a mini draw engine sort of. You could just tribute the Gofu, pop the both tokens, draw 2. And it's great going first because Karaz can't attack the turn he's summoned anyways, and you can't, of course, you can't do your battle phase turn 1. So it's a good little draw engine. And then of course it's a dark, and I do play Allure in this deck, so it synergizes well. So like maybe you're going second, you open it, you draw an Allure 2, that's another draw 2. Excuse me. And then of course you have the Squire engine for the deck, the 3 a day, 3 Eidos. You know how this goes. A day of specials Eidos. Eidos can special a day from the deck, special another Eidos. It's your standard tribute generating engine combo. No need for much explanation for that. And that's about really what does it for consistency in the monster department. Unless you count Prime as a monster, which I guess it does. Now for the Monarchs, I'm playing 3 Karaz. Because the thing for Karaz is I like to match it with my ratio of Gofus. Probably not the smartest thing, but it's worked relatively well, I guess. It can help on brick, and if not, you could always just discard it for something. Doesn't really matter. Yeah, it's just a great way to get you some draws. And then if you really want to, you can just pop stuff on your opponent's field. Yeah, you'll give them a draw, but if you're pushing for game, it won't really matter anyways. Which I don't think you'd be pushing for game with Karaz anyways, but yeah, so I'm playing 3 Karaz, and then of course, can't play the deck without 3 Erebus. This is your problem solver, really. If there's anything that you can't get over, Erebus can spin it back, non-targeting, can hit Pendulum Scales if you go up against a Pendulum Magician matchup. And then of course, you can recycle your Monarchs in grave, even himself. It can get a Pantheism or Prime in the grave if you really need it there. So yeah, Erebus is just a great all-around tool, and him being at 3 really helps the deck a lot. Now for the one-off Monarchs, which are a lot. Play of course the 1/8 because it's limited. I'd love to have this back too. This also really helps you with Karaz bringing it out during your opponent's turn to disrupt them, or even give yourself draws if you really need it. You have the Mega Kais. A lot of people don't like to play this, but aside from its effect being underrated, in my opinion, it was really good for against pendulums because everything was dark. But then again, it's a free 1000 burn if you hit something, and then it's a dark too, so it's another alert target if you don't want to use it, or if you open it going first, because it's a mandatory effect. So if you open it, he has to banish himself. Next, Vestalos, a good opening card. Lets you see your opponent's hand, which that in and of itself is a reason to play it. So knowledge of your opponent's hand is always good. Even though with spirals, you'll know what they'll have in hand because they search everything. That's about it for the one-off Monarchs. And then for the Fiend package, I guess you could call, is 2 Vanities, 1 Majesties. I've been liking the 2 Vanities because if you're going first against spirals and you see this, it basically forces them to deal with it before they can do anything. So if they can't get over it, that's a win essentially. But if they can get over it, they'll have to have gone out of the way, changed up their entire play just to deal with the Vanities feed, which may be like a waste of board wipe that they have to get like a 1-for-1 on a Regeki just to be able to continue on with their play instead of hitting your entire board, which is Monarchs. So maybe only have like 1 or 2 on the field at a time. Anyways, yeah. If there's anything I'm gonna cut, if there's anything from here I want to cut, probably the Majesty Scene because it's almost useless at this point. And then I'll probably side out one of the Vanity Scenes, probably take them both out if I'm going second. Because what good is it going to be to prevent special summoning if your opponent has their board set up already? And then for the last thing, I don't play many hand traps because there's not that much room in the deck because it's bricky as it is. And I don't have Ashes, Drone Locks, they're expensive. It was just the maxi for the hand trap, I guess, because you want to have as many draws as you can because this deck is notoriously bricky. And then just for the tech of the format, I guess, you could say just the one masterpiece synergizes, you contribute it. With a prime, you have a plethora of continuous spells and traps distributed with. And then of course if you really need bullets in the chamber for masterpiece, you could always summon an Erebus and Aether and send 2 continuous spells and traps to the graveyard. Just reload him all the time. But that about does it for the monsters. I think it's about 23, which is pretty high. I don't really like it. I wish I could play it that much, but that would mean I'd have to play more draw cards, maybe some desires, which is awful for this deck because there's a lot of 1-ofs in here. Now for the spells, because this domain Monarchs is your win condition, essentially the 3 domain, you can't play it without it. This is the best way to play the deck at the moment. Not really sure there are any other ways to play it at the moment, but yeah, y'all know what it does. Contrary to popular belief, it has 3 effects. But yeah, this domain, everybody knows what it does. 3 Tenacity, it searches your entire deck, or it searches your entire spell and trap archetype. Yeah, it also replaces the need for like set rotation and terraforming, which is a big one because it can search the domain. Which I don't know why you'd want to play set rotation here, because if you're already drawing your brick as half your deck, you don't want to be drawing the Oracle, Zephyr, the Gateway to Chaos just to get to your domain. Only downside, of course, you have to have Monarch in hand to activate it. But yeah. So those are really the only 3 ofs for the spells. I played 2 Return. I was originally playing only 1, but once I started playing 2, I found myself being a lot more consistent. And then even if you do open multiples of these, which is awful already, Pantheism, if you draw it, can help you discard, draw 2, and then if you happen to open up a Masterpiece, that's already a tribute. That's a tribute and a bullet in the chamber for him. And of course, just searches any Monarch. If you open this and a tribute, you were able to tribute summon, you can get an Aether for your opponent's turn, which is really good. And 1 Stormforth, because it's Stormforth. I really want this back to 3. This is the 1 Pantheism because it's also limited. This card's insane. This deck would be semi-competitive. It would be Rogue for sure if this card was at 2 or 3. Just at 2 would help the deck immensely. It would make it not as bricky as it is at the current state. And then of course the March of the Monarchs, not too important. Protects all your stuff from targeting or tributing, but everything just non-target bounces these days from targeting or destruction. But yeah, if anything, it's another continuous for Masterpiece. It's searchable, so that's really the only reason to play it at 1. I wouldn't want to play this at 2. I played it at 2 for a while, but it was really bricky. Then for the generic stuff, I play 2 Allure and 1 Roto. Roto gets you to your Idea. And then Allure, there's a lot of dark targets. I don't want to play 3 because I'm just trying to get to some more cards instead of wanting to banish all my fodder or my Monarchs that I'm trying to summon. So 2 is like the perfect medium. And then the only traps I play are the Prime Monarch. I see some people playing 2. I like to play 3. I might want to experiment with it some more, but I'm probably going to be playing Pendulum Magicians now this format, which is my better shot. But yeah, Prime, it has a little Daigusa Emerald effect. We could shuffle 2 Monarch spell trap cards back in the deck, draw 1, but everybody uses it for its special summon effect, which is amazing. It's almost free fodder every turn. You can banish stuff to recycle with Idea. It's a really versatile card. And it's a light for Zaborg if you're playing it. It's really, really good. And that about does it for my deck profile. Thank you for watching. I'm just doing a channel overhaul. I'm changing all the aesthetics, all the graphics, and hopefully my content too. But yeah, if you like more videos like this, go ahead and subscribe, and I'll catch you with the next deck profile, which will probably be my Pendulum Magicians, which will be done real soon. But other than that, yeah, for like the third time, thank you for watching.